Hello, and welcome to our talk about Prelude. Today we're going to talk about the different C comments that are available to use with Prelude. Here is a cheat sheet that I'm going to email everybody here after the recording, and that way you have this sheet. There are only a few that we're going to talk about: the C comment, CN, CNPO, CPO, and CIB here. Um, the other ones, the way the sheet works is the C comment tells you what the description is here, and then what it prints on over here for all these different documents. So there is a way to figure out what goes with what. The black space here shows what it's going to print on. If there are any comments that you should be looking at, they're over here. But again, the ones that most of us, and at least myself, use the most are those five: the C, CIB, CN, CNPO, and CPO. So we're going to open up a Prelude document. And I've already got the Rundle quote that I had done earlier up. And I had done a C comment earlier for this Altair 5X. Again, I put a space in here. I did a C, and then I just hit enter. We'll go through that and do that again. If you've got multiple lines, and then you've decided that you need to make a comment about something, put your cursor on the line item right below where you want the comment. Do Control Insert. We're going to do a C comment, and again, the C comment allows it to be printed basically on everything, so that anybody can read it. We're going to hit enter. It brings up the box. I'm not going to make a comment in this one, so I'm just going to hit F2 to save. And that's going to create a spacer line that we'll talk about later. I'm going to do Control Insert again. I'm going to make another C comment. And on this one, I'm just going to put please clear data. F2 to save. If there was a comment that I didn't want to print on anything, I could do Control Insert again for this line item, do CN, and put some type of comment in here. Again, that won't print on anything, but still, you just want to be conscious of what you're saying. Maybe on the return, you want when unit returned, please download data for customer. Put your initials so that if there are any questions, we can get in touch with who needs to say, hey, who is this going to? Why'd you put the comment in here? Whatever the case may be. But again, this comment will only appear when you're in the either the rental order, the entry, or inquiry is the only time you would see a CN comment. Another popular one, again, that I like to use is the CIB comment. I'm going to make a space. And CIB is an invoice comment after what they call after the back order. So this will appear on, if there's 10 invoices, this CIB comment will be on every one of them to give some type of indication as to what needs to be done with that invoice. Typically, I'll put on here E/I for email invoice, and then I'll put somebody's email on here. F2, and then I'll do CIB again. Just in case anything appears below that, it gives a little bit of space, and that way the accounting department, it gives them an easier time of seeing what that comment is, and again, it makes it stand out a little bit more. And I'll show you that once I email it over to myself. You'll be able to see that CIB comment. Say you've got product that you're going to have back ordered, and it's going to drop ship to the customer, or there's a special note that you want to give to the purchasing department. We're going to do a miscellaneous item. Purchase. Oops. And on that miscellaneous purchase, the CPO note, if I do one like this, again, I'm going to give it a little bit of space. And if you have multiple line items from, say, different vendors, again, it is very important that whatever the comment is, you put it under that line item. If I've got 10 line items from 10 different vendors, each line item that you want to make a comment about has to have that comment on there, because a C note only goes with the line item above it for either the merchandise or the rental items. So that's very important to know. CPO, this will appear for the customer to see. In here, typically you might put, if the customer gives you a UPS or FedEx account number to use, and they don't, then it's not a big deal that they would see that. XYZ, or some other, whatever the comment is, you don't care that the customer sees it, then you could put that on there. If it is a inside comment where you only want the purchasing department to see it, then it has to be CNPO, and then only the people in the purchasing department or somebody that pulled up this entry or inquiry would see it. Here it might be an internal UPS account number, or some other note. Use quote number 9065 or 9056 from Beth at XYZ Company. Customer doesn't need to know that we got a quote from the company, from the vendor we're buying it from. They also don't need to know our UPS account information, and that's why we would use CNPO notes. And again, CPO, we don't mind that the customer sees what we're writing, and that can go on here. I sent myself the email that shows the order, and that's what's here in the PDF. And we're going to look to see what all shows up. And on the 5X, you can see that there's a little bit of that spacing right here. Again, that helps the technicians to see that there's some type of comment, and it makes it a little bit easier for them to make sure that whatever comment you have is noted on here. Here you can see that it says please clear data, and that goes along with the C comment that it's going to appear right here. The CN comment, when unit return please download, does not appear and will not appear on any documentation. It is only an internal note. The CIB note that I made to email the email invoice info@safety.com, you can see that that appears right there below this line item, 210-0012, and that's the line item I put it under. And that's what we talked about before. Wherever you put a comment, that's the line item it's going to go under. The miscellaneous purchase, I made that comment, this will appear for the customer to see, and as you can see, it showed up here because I used a CPO note, and then the other CPO note was the UPS account number that the customer gave me. The internal only items, CNPO line item 15 and line item 16, did not appear on this order. So if you've got information that you only want the purchasing department to see, that's where that information would go. And that covers the C note, the 5 C notes that I wanted to go over with you. Again, take a look at that document. It's going to show you what things print on. If it's got other notes that you should be looking at, these are a great resource. And again, these 5 are probably the most highly utilized that you would be using. So again, I will email out this sheet so that you have it printed off and utilize it. If you've got any questions, get with your branch supervisor or another person that's familiar with Prelude, and we will help you out. Have a great day. Thanks.